Recently, a junior consultant at BCG, one of the big three management consultant companies, was pulled up by their manager. The manager wanted to know why they were trying to solve the problem from first principles instead of, well, using ChatGPT. Now, the funny thing is that they did use ChatGPT. They just didn't tell the manager that. Welcome to the world of consulting in 2025. AI is everywhere. It's writing reports, it's making slides, it's crunching numbers, and the famous decks, it's helping make those too. But you would think that the likes of McKinsey, Bain, and BCG would be worried about AI, right? Because AI reduces the knowledge gap between them and their clients. Turns out, instead of resisting it, they are going all in. And the ones feeling the heat are the junior most employees, the consultants. Timelines are shrinking, expectations are going up, and creativity, who cares about that anymore? A former Bain manager told my colleague, the Ken reporter Abhirami ji, about an instance when a senior partner wanted a full client assessment done by the next day. Normally, something like this would take weeks to pull off. The result: rushed work and fancy words that sound good but don't really say anything substantial. And worst of all, there is no time to fact check. There seems to be a real disconnect between what leaders, senior leaders, think that AI can do and what it actually does. So, what happens when the industry, famous for having all the answers, is now taking shortcuts using a chatbot? Also, what happens when the clients find out? Welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host Nigta Sharma, and I don't chase the news cycle. Instead, every day of the week, my colleague Rahel Philippos and I will come to you with one business story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Today is Monday, the 14th of April. Sometime in the middle of last year, the big three consulting firms fully endorsed AI. McKinsey has said that 40% of its new projects now involve AI. Bain and BCG predicted that AI consulting would make up 20 to 30% of their business this year. Both companies have actually been working with OpenAI since 2023. They use ChatGPT Enterprise and other tools built for business. At BCG, consultants also use something called Deep Research. It is basically an OpenAI tool that scans texts, images, and PDFs from across the web and then generates deep dive reports. It covers everything from quantum computing to cancer immunotherapy. And it's working. Deep Research outperformed both OpenAI's older model and DeepSeek R1, a Chinese open source model, in a key benchmarking test called Humanity's Last Exam. McKinsey, meanwhile, has built its own generative AI platform called Lily. It works with OpenAI's large language models, but it can also plug into other LLMs. The idea is to stay flexible. So, where is all this love for AI coming from? From the top. A Bain manager put it pretty straightforward to us. They said, and I'm quoting, "I don't see any downsides. It made my life much easier. If my team gives me some research, I can just use AI to double check it." But not everybody is thrilled, especially the junior consultants who do the actual work. A BCG consultant told the Ken how timelines for everything from research to making slides have shortened a lot. What they had earlier a whole day to do now has to be done in an hour, no thanks to AI tools. And the frustration runs deeper. A McKinsey consultant told Abhirami how managers only see the final result and think, wow, Gen AI is amazing. But they don't see the dozens of failed prompts behind that one good output. It's like watching Messi score 9 out of 10 free kicks and ignoring the 15,000 misses in practice. In 2023, BCG studied how Gen AI affected its consultants, and they found that it boosted creative problem solving by 40%, but it made business problem solving 23% worse. Why? Because consultants did not trust AI enough in areas where it was actually good and overtrusted it where it wasn't. What is even more worrying, the study showed that AI reduced diversity of thoughts by 40%. But that did not stop BCG or the others from going ahead. Another McKinsey consultant told us that they are being discouraged from thinking things through. They actually tell them to work with AI. They said, and I'm quoting, "My manager does not even ask me to do the task anymore. They just say, get Lily to do it." And this is where things get messy. Consultants spend 30 minutes feeding prompts to the chatbot just to get a first draft. And then they spend the next couple of hours just fixing it. The consultant termed this as a sunk cost fallacy because they end up wasting so much time prompting the bot that they believe they could have done a better job themselves. Still, McKinsey says that over 70% of its employees use Lily and that it cuts down time spent on research and synthesis by up to 30%. But for many consultants, the shine is already wearing off. Stay tuned for more on this. 2 months ago, Bain teamed up with NASSCOM to release a report called India at 2047, Transforming India into a Tech-Driven Economy. It is a 78-page deep dive into how different sectors are shaping India's tech economy. When Abhirami read this report, she thought there was something off about it. The writing felt strange, a bit robotic. So she ran just the intro of the report through an AI detector. And guess what? It flagged 91% of the report as AI generated. Now, to be fair, these detectors aren't always completely reliable, but the language used does sound quite AI generated. A consultant at Bain said that AI is usually just used to structure ideas or tweak a few lines, not to write full reports. One possible explanation, Abhirami says, is that Bain might be using an internal tool that rewrites plain text into its own house style. This includes phrases like dampening of exit activity or strategic headcount reductions. Another consultant said that at least one other top tier firm does the same. But using AI tools outside the company's ecosystem, that is a big no. It's mostly about data privacy. For example, BCG banned the use of DeepSeek after employees started using it in their work. So, where does this leave consultants? A Bain manager told us that the job comes down to four things: client interaction, research, Excel models and slides, and insights. And all of those, he pointed out, can be automated. Even client emails, AI can generate them in minutes. Which brings us to the big question: what is the future of consulting if AI can do all of this? Bain and BCG did not respond to the Ken's questions. But a McKinsey consultant explained it to us. They told us before AI, consulting firms used to rely on something called information asymmetry. Basically, access to data that clients did not have. But now, AI is closing that gap very fast. And to stay ahead, consulting firms are doing the obvious: selling AI solutions. Roughly 30% of their revenue now comes from helping clients integrate AI, especially in non tech industries like manufacturing or chemicals. Bain, for example, struck a deal with OpenAI in early 2023. It even advises IT service companies on how they can upsell AI. But still, there is real anxiety in the industry. A BCG consultant said that some believe entry level consultants will be replaced. Others think that it will be middle managers. Of course, no one thinks that they will be the ones who will be made redundant. A former Bain manager said that most of the 200 roles cut in June 2024 have still not been refilled. Campus hiring was light too. apparently only around 25 MBA grads were brought in last year. The firm is now leaning on more lateral hires with experience. McKinsey, meanwhile, believes that the key to a future with AI is being more hands on with clients, not just giving advice, but staying through the execution, like helping build AI tools like knowledge bases or chatbots. And how will we know if all of this really worked? I guess we will have to find that out in the next MBA placement season. That is all for today, dear listener. But before I sign off, here is a question for you. If 90% of your job could be done by AI, what would you focus on to stay valuable? I would love to hear about this from you, so please do send me your answers as texts or voice notes on Daybreak's official WhatsApp number, which is 89711 08379. I'll repeat that again, 89711 08379. Also, what did you think of this episode? Do let us know, and if you liked it, do share it with your friends and family. Also, do not forget to give us a rating and hit follow on whatever podcast platform that you're tuned into.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of the Ken, India's first subscriber-focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber-only offerings. A full subscription unlocks daily long-form feature stories, newsletters, and podcast extras. To subscribe, head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on top of the Ken website. Today's episode was hosted by Snigdha Sharma and edited by Rajiv CN.